right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Rose is on his way around. Picked up by Otis.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say, here comes the boom, ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the boom, ready or not. How you like me now?
You don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati.
You are watching live to the best damn Cincinnati sports podcast this side of Village of Merici in Indianapolis. How we doing?
We're great. We're great. I saw. Were you guys in full totality yesterday for the eclipse, or where were you guys at?
So
at scale.
I was driving home and I felt like it was the Will Smith movie, I Am Legend. It was all deserted. I'm like, man, I'm getting home easily because Bruce had his show at 3:30. And then all of a sudden it started getting dark outside because I didn't have any glasses or anything. When I work at all the glasses were gone. But no, I got to see part of it here and there. How about yourself?
We were in the full totality. Of course, I had my glasses and I walk outside. I'm like, oh man, that sun's bright. And I kind of look up and I was like, I just did the one thing they say don't to do. I looked at the freaking sun with no glasses. So I was like, it was like a 30-minute panic spiral that I was going to go blind. It was awesome. We saw like the 100%, kind of like the world was ending. I mean, you just think back to like 1800 when that happened and people probably thought literally the world was like ending for a moment and then came back. So,
oh, for sure.
James, what about you?
So, we're down in Paris, Kentucky. We were about 96% totality.
Nice.
So it was still awesome. However, it was super cloudy right when it started to become like 96% for us. So you could see it poke through the clouds every once in a while. So if you had the glasses on, you could see it really cool. And it was really neat. But it got dark. The temperature changed.
Yeah.
Like that was probably the creepiest thing. And it makes sense just because the sun goes away. Yeah. But it's like, gosh, that temperature change was marked.
Yeah.
But we've got Matt here with Cincy Hat. And you might notice Greg and I wearing some Cincy Hat gear.
Possibly.
So for those of you who don't know, these are the Eclipse series. Is that what you named?
They are now. I put it out there.
Yes, no, yeah.
I mean, it was a perfect name. I was like, oh, we still live.
And it makes sense because it's like everything. You see the sun, the orange coming out of the Cincy. So these are the exclusive for the Project Game-Dey draft event. So you guys will be there from 5 to 7, correct?
Yep, exactly. At Midwest Best Barbecue. Give me my first trip. Greg's been on me for years about it, and I'm pumped to finally make that happen. So,
oh my gosh. Well, so for us, the food will be starting at 7:00.
Nice.
So because we'll have the tickets, but you're going to be in for a treat. The mac and cheese is stellar. The wings are stellar. The barbecue stellar. Like it's all really, really good. So you're going to be in for a treat. But 5 to 7, you guys will be there. Selling not only these hats, which you had to order more, right?
Oh yeah. Those are. I don't know if we could possibly have enough of those. Usually when we post a photo of a hat on Instagram, like product photos usually do way worse. I don't know why. Just like the algorithm, would rather see Ted's face talking than more than anything. But those pictures on Instagram blew up immediately, and I was like, oh boy. Yeah, I might have to make another order too. So we're going to do them in person for Project Game-Dey, April 26th. They're going to come online too. It all just depends on do we have them immediately after the event or not. But I think I have a good feeling those are going to be a pretty big fundraiser for us. So.
Oh yeah, I'm going to have to buy another one because my son saw it and said, "Oh my gosh, that hat is sick," and I was like, well, I didn't get another one, so I guess I'm shelling out some more money to help out the Village of Merici.
I love it. Yeah, that's a big part of this year. It's gonna just be new styles. I feel like we love the new colorways. This is a gray hat, a gray and black.
Yes.
We're going to get big here on just a little more style forward colorways. So we got a black and white coming out. Just things that are a little more neutral. Ted was kind of big on that. He was like, he's like, I can't really just walk around in Bengals gear all the time. He's like, it's kind of corny for me as a player, but give me an olive hat. Give me give me a nice little brown hat. So yeah, we're coming at you with some style, and then a lot of new designs, a lot of new logos.
Awesome.
Nice. Now, do you have a favorite that has come out here in the last, say, 3 or 4 months that you're just like, and don't feel like you have to say this one because obviously we all love this hat. However, do you have a favorite that's come out here recently that just like, oh my gosh, this might be my everyday hat?
So the new khaki hat that we came out with, we dropped those on Friday. We're calling those the mid-crown performance. Those are probably the most comfortable, durable hat we have. Like me and Ted put on this hat the day they came in. We were like, this one just feels different. Like, whoa. So it's just like another level of like style and comfort. So we're probably going to shift a lot of our mid-crown hats over to that new hat style. So, I mean, you can't go wrong. I feel like they're like my kids. Like every day, I just like look in my never-ending box of hats and just grab a random one. So,
well, yeah, you've got to have something that goes with every single outfit that could ever be imagined.
Oh yeah. But I just wear like the same sweatshirt every day that says Cincy on it, so it doesn't even matter,
Right. Matt, the one for me, man. Like I was with James one time at Cook Sporting Goods one time, and I saw the hats there, and I'm like, the red and black's cool, but I wonder if they'd make it. I wonder if they would make it in the mid crown and all that. And James just said, "Well, great, just ask Matt and all that."
Yeah.
Dude, I asked you. You're like, that's a good idea because here's the thing: me and James have a disagreement on something. Very, to each his own. But, for the Cincy City Connect hat, I like the jersey. I just never care for the logo. But I'm like, this red and black hat would look sweet with that City Connect jersey. And so I asked you, you're like, you didn't even hesitate, did you? You're like, I'm on this.
Well, I feel like we've neglected red and black. So we went out to opening day. We were at Moorline Lager House on opening day. And I brought like a little sampling of red and black hats. And those went first. And I was like, oh, crap. Oh, people love the City Connect colorway. So those Eclipse hats you're wearing, we might have a little red version too. So we'll see.
Uh-oh. Now, not to give anything away, but the rumor on the street is that you might be bringing not that the Eclipse City Connect, but you might be bringing another hat to debut. That's the rumor on the streets. I don't know if it's true or not, but
there's probably going to be 4 or 5 new hats. Before. We got so many hats like in the storage room that aren't even released yet. So I'm loving in-person selling now that it's spring. I'm just like anytime we can chat with people and connect with them, and people can see them in the flesh and try them on and whatnot is so big. So yeah, I'm sure we'll probably bring this gray and black guy here. I'm sure we'll bring a pretty big smattering of different styles. So.
Nice. That's awesome. Now, are you thinking about coming out with any other type of apparel? Is it like in like t-shirts or anything, wristbands or whatever?
A lot of manic ideas from Ted and I in the works right now. So absolutely. I need to revisit dog collars because I feel like people were freaking out about those at one point on Twitter. But I think we're going to get harder into the t-shirt game. We're definitely going to experiment with hoodies, just trying to decide when and where and all that. But I think clothing is a big growth for us. So
you talked about, or you guys had that awesome St. Tattie's Day event.
Yeah,
and I had FOMO real bad because I wanted to be there, but just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And just to see everything that went on, it makes me think of you could get those brands that you put on your steak. You could get a Cincy brand.
Yeah, you could.
The idea came to my head. I mean, that would be the real fans. That's where rubber meets the road. Who wants the Cincy brand? Yeah.
Well, I mean, for your steak. I'm not saying for. Although I'm sure somebody will go right on their arm.
Yeah. I know there are, and I mean, we've thought about head covers, we've thought about golf balls, we've thought about so many things. It's really just like, what did we actually click order on? And that's kind of how it makes the website. So yeah, but no, t-shirts. I think we want to just get cooler with design. I mean, I love the logo, but I feel like there's so many ways we can subtly sneak in the logo to a new design. Shelly, that is hilarious because Ted and I were literally talking about that last night. So that is an idea on the board right now, and as long as the design comes back good, I think that actually is probably coming.
That is my mom.
Yeah,
that is her. She also said Cincy Hat boxers. So
again, It could happen. That's for darn sure. Probably not a bad like Christmas stocking stuffer.
But
Yeah.
But no, man, like attending the event, I mean, I thought it was going to be big. It was way bigger than I expected. That Cincy Hat a Tatty event was just so awesome. I did not get a tattoo, but still, that was so awesome to attend. Just the atmosphere around, good seeing a bunch of old Bengals friends there. That was so cool to see, man. Trey Hendrickson, awesome of him to show up along with obviously Teddy. That was just such a cool event to attend to, man.
It was, yeah. It went perfectly. Everyone was so nice. I mean, there were so many things going on. People had to wait a long time to get in. I felt bad about that. Everyone just had such a positive attitude. We're so nice. The tattoo artist crushed it. We tattooed like 500 people. Like an hour into it, my uncle comes up to me and he's like, Matt, we got to get more people getting tattoos. These artists are flying. They're going to get bored. So, I mean, we probably could have been, that was probably my only like anxiety. I was like, oh, I mean, that event venue was so big. We could have had 2,500 people probably. We had about 1,000. And that was a pretty comfortable 1,000. So no, it was fun though. It was a lot of time, a lot of effort. I am glad it's over. I do not intend to plan a 2,000 person tattoo party anytime soon. We're thinking the next fundraiser, we kind of want to keep it fresh and just keep it different every event. So we're kind of thinking a euchre tournament could be fun.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for that. But Ted and I are big euchre players, and we're like, that sounds fun, competitive, and like not that difficult to execute. So stay tuned.
That would be epic. I see my buddies and I growing up, just like you and Ted, growing up, we would stay up until 3 or 4 in the morning playing euchre.
Oh, I'm a big analyzer too. Like after the hand, I want to talk about the hand. I want to tell you why you made a bad play. I want to explain why I made a good play and how I'm so much further ahead than you. I mean, I love the banter of euchre and just all of it. So yeah. And I feel like we need to have like a beginner's bracket for like people who don't know it, who aren't expert, or who aren't good. And then we need, kind of a serious players bracket. And yeah, I think there's a lot of fun we could do with that.
Right. And Greg he's got no idea what going alone means.
No, I was at a summer camp one time and they said we're playing euchre. You need like 6 people. And after 5 minutes, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So hopefully, that's another good idea, Shelly.
Yeah.
You should hire Shelly as your advertiser. Shelly's coming up with the ideas here, Matt.
I love it. The key to being a good euchre player is having aunts and uncles and grandmas that just beat you to a pulp for 8 straight years at Christmas, and then you finally get the hang of it. So,
well, you were talking about having like anxiety from the event. Did Ted have anxiety with getting that tattoo?
Oh yeah. Oh no. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. It was hilarious how it. Okay, cool. It was hilarious how it all went down. He calls me. He was not going to get it. And then apparently like Joe Burrow like challenged him at the free agency dinner. And he calls me Thursday. And he's like, oh my God, dude, my heart's racing. I don't know what just happened. I guess I'm getting the event. Burrow's like donating $25,000 to the Village of Marici. And it was hilarious because he was dead set. He wasn't going to get it. He did not want to get it. He was like, I just don't want to get a tattoo yet. I'll get it if we win the Super Bowl. But Joey B stepped up. So everyone was looking at me after Ted got it. It was like, come on, it's your turn. I was like, if somebody's got another $25,000, I'm in. But for free, no way yet. But yeah, no. Now that I had a lot of stress around the event. We had needles going into skin. I was just like, you know what? Let's make this successful, and then we'll consider getting it. I don't want like a stamp of a reminder, like how someone choked on Skyline chili during the event. I heard that was the funny thing is that event was so big I didn't even know the Skyline thing happened. I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but then it was I saw the guy and he was like, "Oh, I won!" I was like, "Oh, it's hilarious!" I didn't even see it going on. That place was so big.
Oh my gosh! Well, something else that just popped in my head is these wristbands.
Oh yeah,
because we've got the wristbands for the Project Game-Day event. That's how you show that you're supposed to be there.
Oh, that's cool.
So we got those, and they turned out really well. But that could be something that might be.
That's in play. I really probably should have like 100 item brainstorm list, and just at least find like an example of everything out there. And yeah, I go back and forth. Like this hoodie that we've got, it's like I just got like a 1-of-1 print, kind of like a nice lightweight golf hoodie. Yeah. Problem is like some of this stuff is just expensive. I'm like, I don't want to put this on the website for $200. Right. And like, that's probably what it would have to be, just given like the quality of it and like the cost of it. So I feel like it's all about finding that right price point. I don't want to turn people off thinking we're some super premium brand. Like, we're a brand for everybody, not for super expensive gear. So
Right. And there'd be some people that would pay it, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. You want to cater to the masses. So,
Yeah.
putting out a $200, hoodie is probably not the way to go.
We've got what we learned from Imperial, who makes all of our hats, is that they can do like fully custom hats. So, like, if we can dream it, they can make it. So we've got some really cool beanies with some tiger stripes on it coming. I saw the first picture of them today of the sample they made, and I was like, oh my God, like, we might have to order like 3,000 of those, because they were like, oh, that's gonna be the coolest product we ever put out. So
right.
It's like that hard push and pull of like wanting to think about what's coming in 3 weeks, but then also being like, I should probably be thinking about what we're selling in like December right now, because we always, you always have the best idea like a week before you should do it. And you're like, dang it, I can't do that now. So
Right.
I tell you what, though, even though, how about pork chop that lamp he made, man? I mean, that cool.
That's so cool.
Lamp. I mean, like that is a sweet lamp he made. I think that's what, James, it's going to be auctioned off at the event or something, or
yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick, because it is epic.
Oh my God, pork chop! He's just amazing with what he does with the lamps.
That is so cool. He's a man of many talents. I love Top Shop and all that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, man, that big Bengals blanket right there. Yeah, this came out the Cincy Hat blanket. Wouldn't look bad right there.
Blankets have been very discussed, and we've been very close to pulling the trigger on some blankets. So that's probably a good reminder. That's probably, maybe I should just go make it happen. Because I feel like that'd be a nice little Christmas season gift.
Absolutely.
So there's the lamp right there.
Yep.
And awesome. he got the Cincy shoes, the Cincy Hat shoes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Signed by Ted at the event, if I remember right.
He got them signed by Ted at the event. I think he got a separate set of shoes made because the game worn ones were auctioned off at the event. Yep.
Yeah. So he got that and put it all together. He hand embroidered.
Did he?
Cincy Hat.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if he cut that out of a hat. I know Captain did that once, but that's awesome. I didn't realize he can do that. Oh,
yep.
Man.
He has been working really hard on his craft there, and you see the end product. Like, he's good. He's very good.
Heck yeah.
He will ask us, does this look good? Does this look good? I mean, he wants it to perfection. I mean, I never want to hurt his feelings like, Chop, this is way better than I do. He's like, no, Greg, is it good? I mean, that's how Chop is. He does not stop till he has perfection. I mean, just to shout out to Pork Chop big time.
Yeah. Are there going to be any like games or competitions or anything at the event, Project Game-Dey? Like, do we at least have a game where it's like, guess who the Bengals are going to draft? Well, and if you get it right, there's some sort of raffle or something.
Right. Yeah, we're working on that, because we have thought about doing something where you pull a name out of a hat.
Oh, I like that.
And use that. Like, that's just an idea that we've thrown around. But doing something like that, and then if you have to pay for that name, obviously,
$5 whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. And if your guy gets picked, then you get half the proceeds, and then the other half goes to Project Game-Dey, something like that. So there's that. We've got different items that we're doing. We've actually got I'm donating some bourbon.
Nice.
So I'm going to donate a bottle of Blanton's, a bottle of Eagle Rare, and a bottle of Weller Special Reserve.
Whoa.
So that way that can be an auction item.
Dang.
So, and then we've got all kinds of different stuff that we're bringing for like giveaways. So we pull a ticket and give it to somebody. Not that somebody has to spend money on that one. It's just, here's your ticket. Boom. But we've also got pull tabs that we're going to do.
Love it.
It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
We are at max capacity for the event. So yeah, we've had actually quite a few people asking, can I still buy tickets? And it's like, no, unfortunately.
I wish I had done that with like some of the St. Tattie's Day stuff. We should have saved like the last 100 tickets to be like, for them. But if you want to come, it's $50 now.
We were in the middle of doing an episode of the other show. I'm on Bengals and Brews, and I'm like, I got to get off here. The tickets are going to go on sale. I got to claim mine now, and I got mine claimed, and I went back on the show because I'm like, dude, those are going to be gone within a matter of minutes. So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But
so many then, hopefully. That's funny that you guys did the draft event. I pitched that to Ted last year. I was like, let's do something for like the draft. He's like, you don't understand. As like a player, that's like the most stressful night. He's like, you don't know if they're going to pick a center in the first round and then deal you 5 minutes later. It's free agency too. Talking to Ted during free agency is hilarious. I'd call him like, "Do you hear about Mixon?" He was like, "No, what happened?" I'm like, "Dude, check Twitter." Like, so there. I mean, those guys find out just like the rest of us. It's wild. I mean, it's as much as we think it's a stable profession, it's not. I mean, unless you're Joe Burrow, you could get chopped at any minute. You got a price tag on you, and if they don't think it anymore, you're out. So it's just business. So.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we hope Ted is around for forever.
Absolutely.
He is coming to Cincinnati just like you have, and just embraced the city and feels like he's been here forever.
Right. I think part of his magic is like, I would venture to say he's met more Cincinnati residents than most other. I mean, it'd be wild. Like if you think about the events we've done and just the number of people he's genuinely interacted with and truly like had a decent little conversation with them. He's a freak, I like to call him, because he loves it. I mean, he loves it. It's not like a chore for him. It's not like he's showing up like, oh God, this is going to be terrible. He's like, let's go. Like, let's talk to people for 5 hours. That's his dream scenario. So.
Yeah, and I remember at Little Miami that event was insane just because, I mean, it was busy anyway. And then you had Cincy Hat there and Ted there, and he was great even after the event, because I remember took Mason and I we went out and helped carry something out to the van or the Yukon or whatever you guys had.
Yeah.
And I said, Mason, you can ask him a question. It's okay. And he asked a question and said, how do you think the Bengals are going to do this year? And then Ted answered immediately. And the thing I love about Ted is he always is very direct with his eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
He stays locked on you. If you're talking with him, he's fully watching you, not paying attention to anything else. And I think as a professional athlete, I think that really shows the kind of the person that he is, because he wants to make you feel like you're the person in charge. You're the person that means something there. And I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, he knows too that like he has a good sense of gratitude for this is not going to last forever. And, he's got a 2 to 4 year window, and, it's just the reality of how it goes. In 7 years, he'll still be popular around Cincinnati, but like the love and attention he gets, he is just so grateful for it. And it could not have worked out better to be where he is. So, yeah.
And Mom actually has a question. So, the people at the Village of Marici, how do they feel about all the different fundraising efforts that have happened, all the money that is, I would say, literally pouring in to help there? How do they feel about it, and how has it made a difference for them?
Oh, they love it. I mean, they are obsessed with helping with the hats. Every time like a new box comes in, I get 3 phone calls being like, we brought the hats down. Can we start making new boxes for you? I mean, they just love to find any way they can help. I mean, Ted, they think the way you just described Ted is the way they describe Ted. He just locks in with them. He is present for them. He has a unique friendship with every single one of them. So right now, the big development is they are in construction to build 37 new condos right now. So those are all purchased, and it's going to be a unique model. It's going to be one of the only models of home ownership for adults with developmental disabilities, really in the country. And so that's really cool. All of these individuals and their families will own the unit they live in. It'll be their forever home. It's going to be 2 doors down from the first Village of Marici. So that's really exciting. Ted's got some exciting stuff going with the Ken Anderson Alliance. His development company Paradigm and the Ken Anderson Alliance are looking for a site to build something similar to Marici over in Cincinnati. So, I mean, in a pro and a con, it's like there's just an unlimited amount of work to do in that space. There are so many people that need it. There is so much need to be served. So it's ripe for action, and Ted's ready to strike. So
yeah, and we had the pleasure of having Kenny Anderson on our show a month or 2 ago, and just such a class act Kenny Anderson is. I mean, just such a nice guy he is, and I mean that is just so cool to see him and Teddy just team up like that. I mean, that is just so awesome.
Well, I remember being like, Ted, like Ken Anderson's got this thing. Have you heard anything? He's like, dude, he just dropped like a case of beer off at my locker and said, let's get lunch soon. And so he had lunch, and it was just instant mutual love and respect. And yeah, I mean, it's like in that space, there's no competitors. everyone's fighting for the same thing. There's so much work to do. Nobody's encroaching on anyone's territory.
And like Greg was saying, when we had him on, Ken Anderson,
Yeah.
we asked him about teaming up with Ted, and he just talked glowingly about it and how excited he is to team up with him and everybody involved to make even a bigger difference than Ken has already done in the city of Cincinnati.
Yep, exactly. So who knows? I mean, his legacy is just incredible in Cincy. I know Ted hopes to elevate to that stature someday. But Ken's been doing it for years and years and decades. So good for him.
You talked about the beer. Ken also told us that they're actually not allowed to make the beer anymore.
I know. I think like, what was it, the Houday drinking lager or something?
Yeah,
like
it's just
that?
The Kenny's Day Drinking Lager.
I got some over there. Okay,
yep. I know.
It was good beer too.
By the way, Matt, so I want to tell you something before Christmas. My mom needed a new Bengals hat. My dad needed one. Yeah. And they didn't even know anything about the Cincy hat. We had to go through store to store. I was with my mom day before Christmas. We were calling store to store, and they have one more of the the black hats and all that. And I said, well, Mom, you know what this goes to and all that. And once she saw that big documentary you did with the Bengals, I mean, she's just like, that is just so cool. I mean, she's just so grateful. Hopefully one day my mom has the pleasure of meeting Teddy, you and Teddy and all that, because she's just so grateful about all this.
They're in Cincy as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. We're in Cincy as well. Yeah.
What part of town did you grow up in, Greg?
I've lived here my whole life. I live in Madeira.
Okay. In Madeira?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Heck yeah. Well, I love that area. Every time I drive up in that northeast side, I'm just like, this place is beautiful. So
right, exactly. Lived there my entire life and all that. I love it.
Do you remember what store you ended up getting a hat from?
Okay, so the store I got my hat was Cook Sporting Goods, and so we live in Madeira. So the Kenwood Mall we went to, I think they had they didn't have any. They didn't. I don't think they had any left where we went to.
Okay.
So we went to this place. Not Matt. What's the big place? Oakley. It was somewhere in Oakley. It was one. Yeah. And I'm the worst at parallel parking and all that. So, and it was raining out that day. So I just parked on the side of the road. And they're like, we just have 2 left. I'm like, okay, thank you. Because they did have 1 left at Cook's all the way down there, but we didn't feel like driving all the way down there. So, thank you. We were just so thankful there was 2 left. And my parents, my mom got her white hat, but me and my dad both got the black hat. They've loved them ever since.
No, that was a wild month. So, we sold, I don't know if I ever said this out loud, but when I knew that documentary was coming out from the Bengals, I hadn't seen it. I saw it when it got published, and they just did such an amazing job. I mean, oh, my God. In December alone, we sold like $250,000 in hats. So it was just like, oh, my God. I mean, it would just be like a random moment, like phone would start exploding with orders. Like, oh, we were on that news channel. We were on that news channel. It was just absolutely nuts. So what a whirlwind. What a whirlwind.
It's a movement.
It's nuts. I mean, it's just like, Ted and I, we kind of had the vision for what we dreamed it could be, and we just never thought it could get. Never in a million years do we think it'd be where it is now. So we don't know how long it'll keep going. I'm sure people are going to get tired of it at some point. They have to. But we're going to keep coming out with fresh new gear, and if people like it, they like it. And, I saw somebody come through the other day. It was an order, and I clicked on the person's name, and it was his 15th order. And I was like, oh, boy. All right, that's the man right there. So.
Well, no, Matt, like I say, I know we talked about this story quite a few times, but the story I just remember the most is when you first came on this show, like when James is like, this guy for Cincy Hat's come on, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, sure. But 10 days in or something.
Right, well, we got to know you so well, but I'll never forget, man, the first time ever we were playing the Browns, the Cincy Hats came out. I remember you were just walking with us inside the stadium, and you're like, oh, my gosh, this is really happening. Everywhere the Cincy Hat you saw, and you were just like, is this for real?
I know. Now it's like, I like a poisonous brain where I look at everyone's hat that isn't a Cincy hat and I'm like, all right, how can we make a better hat than that one? And like, oh, how do we get that person in a Cincy hat?
Right.
So every time I'm in there now, I'm like, all right, there's 63,000 people not in the hat. What do we got to do?
Exactly. Not a bad problem to have.
No, it's a great problem. I actually love when people haven't heard of it, because to me, I'm like, how has somebody not heard of this? But there's still probably like half of Cincinnati has no idea. And I'm like, all right, cool. How do we just chip away and find them? And
Well, you started with the Reds culture,
Yes.
There's a sect of people that maybe didn't know.
I mean, the opening day was the coolest thing I've ever been a part of. I will go there every year. So yeah, we went to Moorline Lager House. We were a part of the Everything Cincy party there. I think one of the radio stations hosted it. And I mean, 10,000 people must have walked by our booth. Like we sold $10,000 in hats. It was just nuts. And like everyone I talked to too, well, they weren't even going to the game. They were just there for the action. And I saw a picture of the banks and I was like, whoa, that would have been a lot to be up there. So I was very happy with where we ended up. But I mean, I can't wait to come back next year. I want to go to the game. I still haven't been to a game this year yet, but I got my sights on a couple here in early May. So
dude, there's so much fun to go to, man. Just such an awesome experience.
Well, did you get to see what Ellie did last night?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, we've got some Ellie inspired ideas in the works. So I wish we had them ready to drop today. I feel like the guys at Cincy Shirts are so good at that. They like something happens and like 4 hours later they got something coming out. I'm like, all right, we're not that good yet, but we'll maybe get there. But he's just, I mean, you knew it was gonna happen, right? Like, yeah, he's struggling, but that's fine. It's baseball. Like,
yeah, and you'll see. But another thing, you'll see like on NFL Network, Duke Tobin or like any Bengals player wearing the Cincy hat, and you're thinking to yourself, holy crud, thousands of people are seeing that hat right now. Or Kay Adams is wearing the hat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got a Duke and Zach. I mean, Zach wears our white and black dad hat everywhere now. I got like an order one day, and it was like 6 hats to Zach Taylor, and I was like, oh, I think that's Zach Taylor. And then, so he's locked and loaded, and yeah, no, it'll be fun. We got to get the Reds in them. That's I don't know why we haven't gotten over there with the pack of hats yet. We're gonna have that happen soon. But seeing Ellie in one of those would be pretty cool.
If you can get the Kelsey brothers, since they went to UC, if you get them the red and black Cincy hat, that would be sweet. I think they would wear it and all that because
they would. Jason has one. Ted gave Jason one at the Super Bowl, and then I sent a couple to Ted this week to try to get into the Kelsey brothers' hands. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like rain for that event. I don't know.
Yeah, it's supposed to pour down.
I'm sure they're all like, what are we going to do here? So hopefully it goes well. Right. I like the podcast. I hated that the podcast made me like Travis more. Like, all right. I mean, they're just like, they're like a year or two older than me. They're just like exactly like the Midwest humor. You know, they're talking about like Step Brothers and Anchorman. I'm like, these guys like exactly my culture. Like, I can't hate them. And Jason's the best. I mean, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Well, there is a question in the chat, and you don't have to answer. But is there going to be a Ted Karras appearance at the Project Game-Dey event? You don't have to answer, but just figured I'd throw it out there.
It all depends on his baby he's waiting on. They're 4 days late right now. They're waiting any second to be with new mom and dad. So it really all kind of depends on how's that go. Is everything smooth sailing? So it'll probably know at about 4:30 p.m. that day. So it'll be shooting from the hip there, but we'll see.
Is Mama Karras healthy so far though?
Healthy so far, ready to get her out, but yeah, healthy so far. They're excited. I think perfect timing of the year to be able to just hole up as a family too, and yeah, it's gonna be great.
That's so great. That's gonna be now. This is his first, right?
It's his first. Yep.
Gosh, it's. I'll tell you, it changed me.
I'm sure.
When I had Mason, he's almost 13, and to go from, it's just you and your wife, and then okay, now I have this other human that I have to take care of.
Yep.
And then to have another one, it's like, oh my gosh, can I do this? Yeah. And you find out that you can, but it's nerve-wracking. So I wish all the best in the world for Ted and his wife and the new baby. I'm not sure what the name's going to be. You might know, but you don't have to say it. But
I'll let them announce. I knew it, and then all of a sudden it was changing. So I'm like, I'll let you guys announce it. But no, I think I think it's just, I'm sure for everyone's a perspective builder. Like right now, I have like no perspective. Like everything in my world is the most important thing that's ever happened. And I am so excited to have a kid in like 2 to 3 years and just like learn a little bit of selflessness and like patience and like, hey, the world doesn't revolve around you. So I need a healthy dose of that here at my point. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, now, are you staying for the event?
Yeah, I'm planning to, at least for some of it. I need to figure out what all is going on in Indy that next day. So we've got a Indy 500 lineup of hats coming out, which we're really pumped about. So at first we were like, we didn't want to immediately jump into new markets. We wanted Cincy to be super special, but we've had organizations reach out saying like, hey, would you partner on a Louisville hat? Hey, would you partner on other stuff? So it's like, I mean, if we can enhance things and, partner with local organizations, gosh, like what a fun vehicle to do it. So yeah, we've got the indyhat.com taking off here in a little bit with some Indy 500 gear. So that'll be a big time for the race. So I need to figure out what our, in-person schedule looks like. And I'm probably a month behind on that, but we'll get there.
Have you ever thought about partnering with high school? So like Madeira, we are blue and gold and all that. Like, would you ever come out? I think you might have a hat similar because at the Tatty event, you had never had I could think of. So you probably do have like a blue and gold hat laying around somewhere.
We've got like a navy and yellow, kind of like a very molery hat. No, I mean, you're exactly right though. Like I actually talked to a woman from the NIL folks at a University of Cincinnati, and we were like, man, how cool would it be if we did like a collab Cincy Reigns hat? So, I think we want to get a lot more into stuff like that. We actually did a hat for the police. So they have a foundation called the Blue Line Foundation.
Oh, wow.
So the thin blue line is kind of the mark of the police. And so we made a thin blue line Cincy hat.
Oh, nice.
Looks sweet. We kind of made them available just to the police union so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's so many cool collabs like that where we can just, become partners and friends with other organizations. And yeah, it's all for the good. So yeah.
Well, this goes to you too, but thank you to all of us is what he's saying here for everything that we've done for the community and the fan base, especially you, Matt, because you're killing it.
It's fun. It's fun. I want to just anytime Ted will do it, I'm like, let's just do more events because I think it's so fun too, like to get people together. And I think that's like a hallmark of our brand. We want it to be like, oh, I got this at the Little Miami event. And it's like a memorable moment in their head. And, those moments are just special. So, yeah.
I don't think anybody actually reading your last name knows that that's your last name because I think it's always Matt from Cincy Hat.
Yeah.
Cincy Hat Matt. There we go. It was destiny. I mean, it was destiny.
Is there any way you could partner with the Bengals, the NFL, to get like a Cincy Hat helmet? I'm just going to throw that out there. It's never going to happen, but dude, that would be sweet. Dude, or at least get the Cincy patch on the jersey. That would be so sweet, man.
The Bengals they've been so great about it all. And like, I'm kind of like, I want to tread lightly with them. And they have just been so, the first night we launched it, I was like, are we going to get like a cease and desist letter? Like, we're not infringing on trademarks, but I'm sure if they wanted to, they could say, hey, don't do that anymore or whatever. But no, I think there's a lot of cool stuff. I in theory should reach out and see what a little licensing agreement could look like because I'm sure there's a million really cool things we could do with some licensing for a year. But I don't know. We like to say small and scrappy. Investing a bunch of money into licensing isn't really our strategy right now. But who knows?
But shout out to the Bengals though for being so supportive. Also, I mean, they have just been amazingly supportive. Like it goes back with Duke and Zach and all them wearing the hats. I mean, that is just so cool.
Yes. They've all gotten personal hats with their names on it. They've loved them. Yeah. I mean, they've embraced Ted. They see Ted as a leader on the team. And that's enough for me. Just the love they give him. So
the cool thing is whenever we see each other, it's always like we give up and we dap each other up. We do the high five, we come in for the hug. It's turned into a friendship. It's not turned into like a partnership. It's a friendship. Is what it is now, which is amazing because if I remember right, we were the first podcast that you were actually on.
100%.
Yeah. And so, to have that happen and then to just become your friend now.
Yeah. That's the best part of it all. I know. It's like my buddies here in India. I'm like, I'm going to Cincy. They're like, why do you go to Cincy so much? I'm like, I got like friends over there now. I'm sorry. Like I got stuff to do. I got like a community over there now and it's awesome. So
cool. Well, Corey Dillon, I think you were on Iceman Show one time with him on one time. He will be here for the event, and he already said, make sure you save a hat for me. Corey Dillon, same deal. Like, he has reached out to so many fans. Like, he's been on all of our podcasts pretty much, and when he came in for a Buffalo game, he said, what made me want to come in was just to see all my Bengals friends that I made. And
love that.
So, and he has just embraced it so much. And so we're saying, if Teddy does come, I guarantee. I mean, he's just such an awesome person. Corey is.
Oh yeah. I know. I don't think Ted's met Corey yet. He needs to because they got the Patriot connection and stuff like that too. So
yeah,
they know a lot of the same people.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's actually. I think Corey's coming in the night before, right? So
yes, that is correct.
Yeah, he's going to come in the night before, but then he's planning on being there for quite a while, from my understanding. So if everything is going good with the baby and Ted does decide to show up, then it'll be a perfect time for them to meet. It'd be great.
Love that.
One time, so we were taking to Corey to Midwest Best. I'm like, okay, it's going to be 2:00. Nobody's going to be there. And James was supposed to meet us there. James was texting me, but I'm racing over to Midwest trying to get a table. And I come over here. What are all these cars doing here? What's going on here? And I see James like, Greg, you didn't get my text. He's like, well, what's going on? Jordan Battle is here. I'm like, oh no, it's all crowded all over the place. And so we managed to find 2 tables. But yeah, Corey and Jordan Battle got to meet each other.
Nice.
That was really cool to see. Yeah. So
who do you guys think we're going to take in the first?
Whew. Greg, you go ahead, and I'm going to think.
Okay. Before I say this, let me just ask you this. LSU does a good job with the Bengals. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. Let's say we had another LSU receiver in a trade or something.
And then not have a first-round pick? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm cool with it. Give me JJ or give me Death. I mean, at this point, I feel like everyone wants it. I mean, I feel like the NFL would eat that up too.
No, because if you think about it, the Super Bowl is in Louisiana this year, in New Orleans. I mean, that's like a perfect script right there, right?
They don't do a script, Greg.
No. Sorry. I'm kidding. But no, Matt. And I don't think it's going to happen. But no, in all seriousness, it's going to. Oof. What do you think?
He just threw it back at you.
I'm sorry, man. I think it's going to be defense. I think they're going to go defense first.
Do you think so? See, I don't know. I have not looked at the defensive side of the ball much. I don't know. I feel like if you told me Brock Bowers was going to be available for the last 3 years for the Bengals to get, I would have said, oh my God, don't even think about it. I don't care who else on the board. Take Brock Bowers. But I don't know. I feel like things just change. I feel like he's like too accessible now. And everyone's like, oh, I'm not quite sure. And I liked what I saw out of the tight ends. I think we go right tackle. We get somebody under Trent Brown for a year. I think that's a nice low pressure move for that right tackle to really get him groomed. But I don't know.
Yeah, I could see right tackle. I could see defensive tackle.
Yeah.
I don't know unless there's a move made. I don't know that I see anything else necessarily being that pick.
Yeah.
Now you kind of switching gears just a tiny bit, but you mentioned Trent Brown. So Ted got to play. He played with Trent, right? So did he reach out as soon as he heard? Like, dude, I'm so glad you're coming. Like, what was that?
We went to lunch with him that day. So he calls me and he's like, I just went to lunch with Trent Brown. I don't know if it's a done deal, but like I was in the facility. I don't know if he knew Trent was coming, but then he saw him there and they're like, come to lunch. So Ted was a part of the salesman crew for it, I think. So.
That's right. He saw him in the
It was right after St. Tatty Day. It was the day after the St. Tatty Day, I think.
I called Ted. I was like, "Do you know what you just did?" People were freaking out. He's like, "I know. Tell me what you did about Senator on." I was like, "That would be a hilarious manifestation. That tattoo got like horribly infected." That's exactly.
That's what I'm
thinking. Monday or Tuesday after, I think, right? Yeah.
He can't come to OTAs because of it.
I'm just like, yeah, that would have been perfect. I got to get a picture with Trent and Orlando now, the two giants. I need one in between those guys, and they're huge.
The Brown Towers. Yeah. I don't know if that's a good name for it, but I mean, they're massive.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun to see them work. And I mean, who knows? The offensive line, it's always good. There's always going to be injuries. Defenses are always going to have good schemes, but yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year. I don't know. I feel like last year there was like so much pressure on the season. I feel like we all at the end of the season were like, oh, all right, well the stress is over. Like from like training camp, seeing Burrow sprain that calf, like just the expectations were so enormous. In a weird way, I feel like this year is going to be a little like looser, and I think everyone's going to be a little looser coming into this year of just like, all right. We want to win, but like, let's just get through week 1 and like, let's stop talking about Super Bowl. And so it'll be interesting.
And Matt, let me ask you this, because you've seen Teddy play for other teams. What was your take? I mean, like me and James, we've all talked about this. We were shocked ourselves, especially when that game when they did. Okay, this section wears orange, this section wears black. Were you amazed just as much as I was how they pulled it off just like that? I think the Bengals were even shocked by all
that. Was wild. I know. I was kind of nervous. I was doing it. I did it. I went out and bought an orange shirt that morning. I was like, I'm not. Well, Ted didn't tell me where my seat was. It was like, you're either 101 or 104. I was like, those are two different colors, dude. I need my tickets. And I finally got it. So I went over to Rally House to get an orange shirt. Extremely impressed. I don't know of another fan base that could pull that off. No. Yeah, and I was a little nervous it was going to be a bit of a flop, but when you got in there, it was like, oh, nope, not a flop. Nailed it.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. I mean, that
was Bill's game, right? That was a sick night.
Yeah, we did. We do know how to wear one color, right? Like with the whiteout. Yeah. So hey, just throw one more color in there. Yeah. We can make it happen. I'm looking. I wonder if the Bengals will do next year. Do a white and black.
Right.
Like maybe they switch it up a little bit.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be. Gosh.
When's the schedule come out? Like May 18th.
May-ish.
It's mid-May. Yeah.
So Matt, I don't know if you know this or not. I mean, this just all happened perfectly. So when I was trying to get a season ticket, I was just desperate to get a season ticket, and I managed to find one seat. Happens to be right near Matt Schultz and all that, like 3 rows behind. And then James, he got his ticket right. Him and his son got it right behind us.
We were like 4 rows back.
Yeah, but for me, the guy I was sitting next to wasn't the most pleasant person in the world. Yeah, I'm not going to get into detail, but anyway, then Matt calls us and says, "Hey, 3 seats just opened next to us." And so I was a season ticket holder, so I called my guy to cancel my ticket. And James had to get these tickets. And the day James had his meet, I was pacing back and forth like, "Oh, we got to get the tickets. Are we going to get the tickets?"
I can picture that.
And the first James is like, James was like miscommunicated about something. Like, "Oh no!" And then he calls me back. "Oh, Greg, something wasn't said right." And he's like, "Should I buy the ticket?" "Yes, get that ticket now." And all that. And dude, everything worked out. We're all sitting next to one another. So we are just so grateful this all
worked. It's going to be wild because it's going to be so Santori and his wife.
Yep.
And then it's going to be Matt, but Bengals Bourbon and his wife.
Yep.
Or if he brings a son or a daughter or whoever, then it's going to be, we don't know how it's going to be, but it's either going to be Greg, me, Mason, or Mason, me, Greg, or however that's going to work. But we're like taking over.
That's
that
awesome.
row. Like 318?
307.
No, or row 18?
Row 18.
Yeah, we're taking over row 18 in section 307.
Love that.
So pretty soon we're going to try to get the whole row, try to get everybody up there.
There we go.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. But, dude, I'm really, really excited. Like, we're kind of, because this is our first event that we're putting on. Right. So we're a little nervous, sure. A little anxious. Maybe anxious is more of the right term. But we're very anxious, but we're very excited to be partnering up with you guys, having you guys there first, doing that. And I know there's going to be a ton of people coming through.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I think that post yesterday got people's ears open for the Eclipse hat. So yeah, it should be fun. Hopefully it's not like overwhelming. I feel like there's a fine balance. I feel like that's what we did at the St. Chatty's Day. It was the perfect level of like crowded but not overwhelming and not like a disaster. So hopefully we'll find a sweet spot.
Well, they're kind of closing the dining room, for it. So that way so from our understanding, what's going to happen is everybody's going to come in the side door. You guys will be kind of set up on the side there, and then the front will be open for to-go orders.
Nice.
And that's all they're going to be doing at that point. They're going to just be doing to-go orders. So somebody can come in, get a hat, do a to-go order, go if they want, or hang out for a little bit. And then at 7:00, you don't have to go home, but you got to get out of there because you got to have the wristband.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, did you ever get a chance to talk to Tim and Nicole, the owners, yet?
Not yet. I don't think I did at any of the tailgates. So I'm excited. We should get a little collab hat or something going, or I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure there's something fun we could
get a chicken wing on the side.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. I don't hate that at all.
Let me tell you something. Tim and Nicole, James, everybody can vouch. Just the nicest.
Yeah. Just
such nice people. Every time I go in there, like the last year and a half, I brought James. I brought so many people in there. It is just so awesome to bring. I have not had one person I ever brought in there that was like each and every person I brought in there was just 100% satisfied. And Tim and Nicole, James can vouch for this. They go around talking to everybody. Like when I brought James and his family there for the first time, They just have one of the best times. Like Tim and Nicole. They just chat with everybody. They treat customers like family pretty much, and they're just. I'm just speechless at times, just how awesome they are.
We've been there and seen them bring out shirts and give to the entire dining room.
Yes.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, they're just those type of people. Like they're so nice. They work crazy hours because they're the ones that prepare all the meat the night before.
Whoa.
They're the ones that do all that. So
yes,
they're staying up late and then sleeping a little bit and then coming back in and working. Their family works there too. They've got a lot of good people working for them, and they're dedicated. But they're massive Bengals fans, and I'm sure they're going to be very excited that you guys are being there.
Absolutely,
it's going to be so much fun.
So, dude, we're coming up on what? 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
50 minutes.
I'm going to go get a little dinner here, and then go get cranking on some new hat designs and stuff. But
absolutely. Well, hey, before you go, so Greg does this thing where he fires us up.
Oh no!
We'll play a 10-second video, and then he's going to get us fired up. Greg, I'm going to move you to. Hold
on 1 second. Got to get my headband on here.
All right, I'm going to move you here. Okay, so we got 10 seconds of this video. Greg's going to get us fired up for the Project Game-Dey event with Cincy Hat. So remember to add all of that in there. All right, and then once he gets us fired up, then I'm going to end it. Okay.
Love that.
Everybody, we appreciate you showing up and being in the comments, and obviously, Matt, we appreciate you. Very excited to see you again towards the end of the month.
Likewise.
All right, and Greg, you got 10 seconds, brother.
My trash you the maid, so you bagged him. I'm a savage, classy, bougie, ratchet, sassy, moody, nasty.
Day 2 of the NFL draft. You know where you're supposed to be? At Midwest Best Barbecue, where Cincy Hat will be. We will be dominating the draft. We're going to have a dominating event, so be there! Be there!
And right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Rose is on his way around. Picked up by Otis.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready or not.